you're going to see a depletion, I think.
Wow. So, gonna run out of JDM cars.
I don't care, I'll disclose the price.
All right, Invader Crew. Today, we have a special guest we're going to be interviewing. We have Carl of Dingasu Dreams. He does YouTube, he does import stuff.
So yeah, my name's Carl. I import cars on the side a little bit. Been doing it for like the past 3 years and whatnot. I'm really into the 90s Mitsubishis. This is my Mirage Cyborg.
What inspired you to get into importing Japanese vehicles?
Like anyone else is probably going to say the same thing, just the hype, and it's fun to source vehicles in Japan that we never had, and you know, you get to be the first one to import it that's been in the States. So like, it's a lot of work and tedious, but I don't know, the enjoyment at the end of the day when the car shows up like 4 months later, it's just an exciting thing. You know, I'm not buying anything too expensive. They're all like sub 10K cars, so that's kind of a better sweet spot where, you know, you're not getting too caught up in like too of a high price and not making your money back. Or, you know, sometimes you see a car you really want and you do pay a little bit more.
Do it anyway.
Yeah, you do it anyway, and I've never taken a loss on a car, so that, I guess I've been doing pretty good. But
I was about to ask if you paid for this, because this is beautiful condition.
This car, I don't care, I'll disclose the price. This car at auction, yeah, I don't care. This car is $4,500 that I won at auction.
Wow.
So shipped, all the fees and everything, I'm probably into it for like, because at that time it was a lot less with the shipping price. I mean, stuff's a little higher. So I'm probably into it for like $6,500. And this car's a 96 with 60,000 miles on it. And like I said, it was bone stock, unmodified.
Are there any cars coming up for eligible to be imported you're excited for?
Yeah. Oh, the Toyota Crown Athlete Vs are now illegal.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. So that's what I would be into. You know, the Crowns never came with the 1G, the 1J turbo, and the 2000s and up, I believe, you know, was the first Athlete V that came out and that had that engine in there. So that's probably going to be a sought after car. And Crowns are not that bad in price either. Even the 1Js, I mean, they're pretty affordable. I mean, it's a big sedan with a turbo engine. That's cool. No, so get a JDM Prius. Yeah, I think they came out in 2000.
Yeah.
So you can get JDM Priuses. I don't know, that's kind of weird, but.
So you've been importing for the last 3 years, right?
Yeah, just about 3 years now.
What was the biggest challenge you faced within those 3 years?
I would say it's patience for the most part, because I remember importing my first car and going through the whole process. It's like you spend all this money up front and it's like you don't see the car up to, it could be 3 to 6 months. It's just the waiting that no one wants to do. They want a car, they got the money ready to go, and like, you know, they think it'll just show up in a couple weeks, and you know, that's not the case. So if you wait and be patient, you'll end up paying less than if one's already here, because then now you're paying the markup already. So if you're buying one in Japan, chances are you're going to pay a little less. So
what's one of the biggest misconceptions about being a JDM importer?
Oh, no, I know the number one. Oh, it's from Japan, it's going to be the cleanest car ever. I don't know why people think that. Like, oh, why would you buy a car in the States? Everything's rusted out. It's like, Japan is an island. It's surrounded by water. Their cars are going to be rusted out too. So like, I don't know why people think that. And it's the meme, like, you know, tell me you haven't imported a car before without importing a car before. You know, like, you don't know until you actually do it. But like, no, there's crap cars in Japan. You could get just as bad a car there as you can here, but like those top dollar cars, you got to be careful. So if you're spending that money, it is better to have someone there to look at it themselves in person. Or, I mean, if you're really spending that much money, you might as well just fly there. You know, if you're spending over 100K, what's another 2K, 3K to fly out there and look at the car and be like, oh, this car's actually garbage. You just saved yourself 100K.
What started your love for Mitsubishi?
I don't know. That's a good question, because my first car I ever got at 16 was an Eclipse GS. I really just liked how it looked, and I did a body kit and cosmetic mods, and I actually ended up having an accident in that, so I had no idea what car to get next, and I just looked at other Mitsubishis because that's what I already had, and I discovered the Mirage, and it's like, oh, it's the same as an Evo. It shares a lot of parts. I'm like no master mechanic by any means, but they're really easy to work on, and they're cheap to maintain. So I just kind of stuck with them.
All right. Now, I've seen you at a bunch of meets, out in New York, out in Jersey, out here in CT. How would you describe the car community out here in the tri-state?
Very lively, I guess. Especially being, in a part of the country where we have all 4 seasons. It always seems like, through that winter period, people are just itching for those shows to come out. So like more and more are always popping up all over the state. There's so many events. There's almost too many. It's almost oversaturated because it's like, then which ones do you choose? So like, you're always going to find a meet. Like going into the season now, I mean, you'll hit a weekend and you'll have to choose the show to go to because there'll be like 3 you want to go to. And then sometimes we'll do double meets. We'll go to New Jersey in the morning, and then when we come back to Connecticut, we'll hit like
it's on the way back
a night meet.
Yeah, I mean, even in December, I found you in Jersey. That was crazy. That was the tail end of December at Mitsubishi.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was a late one, and I've never been to that area, and it's like, it wasn't snowing, it was just cold.
There was just a shit ton of cars.
Yeah, it was crowded there still in December, so I guess you're right. It does. If there's not snow on the ground, I mean, all right, put a hoodie on and go to the meet, whatever. I guess you're right. They go well into December.
Unless you're a boomer, they get scared if it's sprinkling.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
What was the first car you imported?
The first car I imported was a Pajero Mini. So
iconic.
Yeah, when I decided actually that's not true. My Evo 1 I imported from Canada, and that was at the height of COVID, and that was actually a nightmare. Importing from Canada is way more difficult than Japan. Like, you literally point and click on a website and you can get a car show up at the port. Getting a car from Canada, and it was six hours away in Montreal, was a nightmare. They held the car for 3 weeks. They're like, this is illegal. It's like, no, it's not. It's almost 30 years old. What are you talking about? Like, that was a nightmare. I don't recommend that. Yeah, Pajero Mini was the first car I did when it's like, I want to see what the Japanese importing process is like. So, obviously, it's cheap. Start with a K car. Just to see what the process is like. What's the paperwork like? What's the process of waiting? What's picking the car up at the port like? And, if this is something I want to do. And then when I made a little money off that, I just started to get like actual cars. And then I met more importers, and then I did more researching online, and I had a person there in Japan that actually could now look at the cars for me and get inspections at the auction. And I was more of a, had a direct line to someone in Japan. So you feel better about importing.
Do you have a certain story or memory of a specific vehicle that you imported? Like just a funny story or a nightmare?
Yep, I have a nightmare. So I have a Pajero, a full-size Pajero as well, that I imported to be my daily driver and my tow rig. So I could actually pick up cars from the port. Like, great. I got a Pajero, I got a tow, I got a trailer I rented, and now I can actually pick up cars from the port. I can go by myself. I don't need a driver or anything. So it's like, all right, we're doing this. Well, that experience was a nightmare because the Pajero decided to just completely destroy its head gasket on the way home. So it was a lot of money because I had to pay for a car and then plus the trailer on my other car to have those stored. And then I had to, AAA only covered up to 100 miles, and I was just over it. So that was probably my because that was a whole day fiasco. So that was probably my biggest nightmare.
If you were to only drive one JDM car for the rest of your life, what would you pick?
That's easy. It'd be this car. It's still quirky. It's still a Japanese car. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it's like 1,000% reliable. So like, yeah, there's better cars for this price range, or like spend a little more. Like the Lancer that I have is obviously a lot more fun. It's all-wheel drive turbo, but like I would still pick this car because I know anytime I go to drive it, it's not going to give me any problems. And like I said, it's easy to maintain. It's cheap. It feels like a newer car because it's the later 90s, and all the other cars I have are older 90s. And that swap at like when people change to like when car manufacturers change to like the later 90s, I don't know. They just seem like such better quality cars, like from 96 on. I mean, I drove this car to Tennessee and back, you know, blasting AC. To Tail the Dragon, no problems. I beat the car up for 2 days, ripping the car, no problems, drove it home. Like, so that was like its test to see its reliability. The car gave me no issues. So I know I wouldn't hesitate to drive this car anywhere. Yeah, hands down, it would be this car that I would, if I could only keep one. Yeah.
All right, and for our last like big question.
Oh no. Big question.
It's not too big. It's not too big. Don't hype it up. Where do you see the JDM scene in 5 years?
All right, since now the 25-year-old mark is 2000 and older, that kind of is the bread and butter of all the cool cars everyone wants, right?
Yep.
Like, they're all legal now. I mean, they're gonna die out, I would think. They're going to be less and less to find the good ones, or like ones are going to need full restos now. Like, it's going to be harder and harder to find as we go forward, especially 5 years from now, because that's another 5 years of people just getting those 80s and 90s cars. So I believe you're going to see a depletion, I think. And that's not going to be good. I don't like that. I don't want, you think like Japan is going to have this infinite supply. I mean, but there's going to be a time where you're going to see less and less, and it's going to be harder and harder to find. But I think in 5 years, it's just going to shift. Like, you're just going to have people importing as they become, eligible. You're just going to see those. So you're going to see 2005 Crowns come in. You're going to see S2000s that were still made. I mean, weren't RX-7s made in the Japan till like 2005, I think? They were made later than they were here. So like, you're just gonna see the years shift.
The market's gonna crash, get one now.
Yeah.
We're gonna run out of JDM cars.
It's gonna happen. There's not gonna be an infinite, supply.
I just make our money back. No.
Yeah, I talked to my importer about this, and he thinks we're not gonna really see that because there's just such a influx and plethora of cars that are available. But I was like, dude, we're gonna come to a time where there's gonna be like the scraps are gonna be left. What am I gonna buy at 75? I'm still gonna buy a 90s Japanese car.
That's true.
I'll just have like a freaking RE, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Aminia or whatever, the RX-7. I'll just have that at 75.
Oh my God, that's true.
Like I'll just have something a little higher end.
I'll buy a Corvette, I'll go buy a Firebird. None of that no more. It's gonna be GTRs and Nismos and GRDs. All right, so that was our quick little interview. Talk about this lovely fella. You want to plug anything?
Yeah, I mean, for importing or anything, all my car stuff is on the Dingasu Dreams Instagram. I have a YouTube channel under the same name, and I haven't really done much because I'm still coming out of the winter bug. I don't know. But now I'll start doing more videos because it'll be nicer out. So,
oh, nice. Throw that all on screen.
Yeah, put that over here. Right in here.
A tiny gap will zoom in OD.
Right in here.
Also, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications. Thank you. Do it. I know you didn't do it yet. Do it, please. Thank you. Should I ask you by name?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a name. Nice. Because
you're really gonna make me want one.
I can get you one. It just might take a little bit.
They look so good. That's gonna be us in a minute.
Yeah, we're in West Haven. White is the most common, so that's just what you find. And I'm a big white car fan, so obviously I was like into it. But
nothing sexier than a white import.